So I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she was telling me how she's no longer able to go to her yoga class or her Pilates class, and she was asking me if I had more of my follow-along classes after the follow-along routines that I did in February. So I decided to film some workouts that my mom could do, but also if you're more advanced, you're also going to be able to do those. And really, these are very similar to the workouts that I'm doing myself right now. So we're going to split these up. Today, we're going to do a straight arm workout. Then we're going to do a bent arm workout tomorrow, and then a legs workout. And that's kind of the split that I'm working on myself right now. So let's start with a warm-up, and then we'll get into the workout. So starting just with focusing on our breathing, taking nice big inhale and exhale. And then we'll add some movement into that. So inhale and exhale. And as we exhale, kind of roll forward a little bit. And then inhaling and exhale. And let's do some shoulder circles. So my goal with these workouts is you can do it with no equipment whatsoever. So that's why I'm inside and not out in the gym where I have a lot more cool toys to play with. So this is really, all you need for this is a little bit of space and your own body. So it's a really minimalist workout. Let's do some arm circles. And forward. Coming down onto the floor, and we're going to do some happy cats, angry cats. So happy cats, your head up, angry cat, trying to round your entire spine. So really focus on getting that smooth curve through your whole spine. And going back and forth between the two. While we're on here, we're going to do a little bit of wrist warm-up. So the first thing I want you to do is think about all of this area where your calluses are, so your first knuckle area, as well as the heel of your hand. I want you to feel that engaged with the floor the whole time. So feel that knuckle area, feel the heel of your hand down, and you can have your fingers slightly bent, gripping the floor slightly. And we're just going to gently rock back and forward. When you rock forward, you want to make sure your hands are staying on the floor, so not coming off. So just go as far as you can, keeping your hand down. Okay, to make this a little more active, so as I rock forward, I'm now going to push with my fingers in front of my hand to come back. And pull forward, and then push back. Turn your fingers out to the side, push down, and push from side to side. So for this one, pushing over from one side to the other. Okay, we're going to turn our fingers to face our knees, push down, sitting back. For those of you who do any climbing or grip training, you're really going to feel this one up the side of your forearm. And again, just rocking back and forward in this position. And then sitting back, bending at your elbows, peeling your hands off the floor. So if there's more that you need to do for your warm-up, if when we were going through that, you're like, oh, I need to spend a little more time on this, press the pause button, go do that right now, because we're going to get started. So the next few exercises we're going to do is preparation work, stuff that's really going to get all the muscles that we want to use in our exercises ready to go. So this first one is going to be wrist extension and range hovers. So sounds complicated, really it's very simple. We're going to start in this position, and I want you now to contract these muscles here as if you're trying to pull your hand and your fingers up towards your forearm. Okay, so it's not going to move in this position, but as I sit back, we're going to reach a point where, notice my hand lifts off the floor. And then we're going to hold it there for about 10 seconds. And then come forward. I'm going to repeat that. Sitting back, really pulling. You'll notice my right hand is a little behind my left hand. Good. And you might feel some of these muscles are starting to cramp. You can release that a little bit, or you can just kind of embrace the cramp. Either's fine. We'll do one more. So I find this really gets everything in my forearm kind of fired up and ready to go with the work that we're going to be doing in this workout. Good. The next one, this is our chicken wing drill. So for this one, you're going to be lying on your stomach. You want to make a diamond with your hands, and you're going to place that on the floor such that if you were to put your head down, your forehead would be right in that diamond. Okay? Then your elbows are going to be halfway, so they're not right out to the side, they're not right in, they're kind of halfway in between. So from here, there's two actions. You're going to push down into the floor, and then you're going to drive your elbows as if you're trying to pull them towards your hips. So I'm pushing down into the floor and then driving my elbows towards my hips. And as I'm doing that, I can feel a lot of those muscles in my back kind of light up. So we do that for 10 seconds. And relax, reset, and then once again, we'll do 10 seconds. Push down, drive your elbows back. And again, this just gets all those muscles in my back ready to do some work. And one more. Driving my elbows towards my hips. Good. Coming up onto your hands and knees, because we're going to be working on some straight arm pushing. We're just going to do a little bit of working on that protraction. So when your shoulder blades are coming around away from your spine. So hands in front of your shoulders. You're going to inhale and push back. And as you push back, you want to make a nice curve. We're pushing back. And relax. And what this is doing is it's really working these muscles through here, working on that protraction. So inhale again, push back. And forward, one more. Pushing back. Awesome. We're going to move on to our first circuit or superset. So this is 2 exercises. You're going to do back to back. You can do up to 4 rounds. So 3 or 4 rounds of these exercises. So for this first superset, we're going to do 2 exercises. So I'm going to give 2 variations. The first one is going to be a push and lean. And this one is great for working that strength for your handstand or for your press to handstand. Or if you're my mom and you're doing your yoga, this is going to help build that shoulder strength for your down dog position. So basic idea, your hands are on the floor. You're going to push, your hands are about shoulder width apart. You're going to push away from the floor as hard as you can, trying to push straight down. Okay, you're going to bring your legs up, and then you're going to lean and try and get your butt as high as you can. So it's not about leaning as far as you can. You probably only want to lean so your shoulders are somewhere over the middle of your hands. And you're just pushing down, trying to roll your butt up as high as you can. So you'll do that for 15 to 20 seconds. The other variation is to do a tuck plunge. So for this one, you're going to turn your hands so that your thumbs are pointed forward. Bend your knees, arms are locked out. And you're going to hold that tuck plunge position. This one is a lot more challenging and more advanced. So whichever you want to do. So let's start with that exercise and we'll go for 15 seconds. So ready and let's go. Okay, we're going to superset that with a hollow body hold. So coming down onto the floor, I'm going to start with a tuck variation. So thing here, ribs down, so your back, you can feel that back pressed into the floor. You're going to reach your fingers this direction. You're going to squeeze here, squeeze your feet together. I'm going to hold this for about 30 seconds. So let's go. If you've done a lot of this before, you can try straightening out your legs, but be really mindful that you don't all of a sudden get a bridge under your back. So if you need to keep your legs tucked, keep your back on the floor, stay in that position. We're going to keep going for 30 seconds. I don't know what Chester's eating. Oh, it's my foot now. Keep going. I don't have a timer, so I'm just guessing 30 seconds here. And relax. Please stop eating the... Stop eating. Okay, so we've got round 2. So back 15 seconds. Push and lean. Try and get your butt as high as you can. If you need to keep your legs bent, totally fine. Just keep pushing as if you're trying to push the floor away from you. Okay, someone has eaten enough. That was our homegrown catnip. Good, and that's 15 seconds. Rolling onto your back for the round 2 hollow body hold. So, pull your ribs down. Feel nice and tight here. Feel your back pressed into the floor. Squeeze your knees together. If you want to straighten out your legs, go ahead. If you're feeling super fancy, you can take your arms overhead. Again, make sure your back's not coming off the floor. Okay, round 3. Back to your push and lean. Pushing down into the floor, trying to get your butt as high as you can. Again, you don't want to be leaning forward over here. Shoulders right over your hands. And pushing down. Keep going. Good, and last hollow body hold. So onto your back. Pull your ribs down. Reach your hands. Try and breathe while you're doing this. You want to extend your legs this way. That's also fine. Then you can start trying to lower them. Take your arms overhead if you want to. Good. So if you want to do one more round of that, press pause, go ahead and do one more round. So for this next one, we're going to alternate plank with shoulder taps, or you can do, I'm going to show you a toy variation for that one. And we're going to alternate that with swimmers. So an exercise for our shoulders. So this one I'm doing when I'm out in the gym. I would often alternate this with a pulling exercise. So something like with a straight arm, either a scapular pull up or a pull up to inverted with straight arms. So like a front lever exercise. But a great alternative when you don't have a bar or a set of rings is to work on those swimmers, really working those muscles in your back. So let's start with the plank exercise. So 2 variations. Okay, we're in our plank. I want you to think about pushing the floor away. Okay, shoulders right over your hands, pushing the floor away, back nice and flat, and you're just gonna alternate tapping your shoulders. Okay, if you've got a cat, you can place a toy on your back. Or not. They don't seem very interested in that. So we'll go with the shoulder taps. So we're going to do 10 taps each shoulder. Notice as I push down, I'm not kind of shifting my hips, staying nice and strong. Moving as minimally as I can. Good. I've yet to master the art of counting while actually performing reps. We're going to come down, we're going to do swimmers. So for swimmers, we start lying on the floor. You're going to lift your arms up and you're going to big swing around. So when it gets out to the side, you can rotate so that your palms are facing the ceiling. And you're going to try and touch as high as you can on your back. From here, you're going to lift up and come back around. Good. So 2 reps there, back to the plank shoulder taps. So let's go. 10 taps each shoulder. So notice my feet are about hip width apart here. Makes this a little easier. One thing to really remember as you're doing this, it's not just about tapping your shoulders, it's about that push. So when I take one hand off the floor, you have to push a little harder with the other hand. I'm really feeling that through my shoulder. I'm also feeling it here. Good. And back. 2 more swimmers. One final round. I've got to work between all these cat toys here that no one is playing with. Two more swimmers. Again, I can't count, so roughly 10. Okay, so now moving on to the finisher. So this one is probably one of my least favorite exercises. Well, it's a love-hate, okay? I love it because it is so good for you. It's so beneficial, and I feel really good after doing it. Hate it because it's really hard. So L-sits. Without equipment, without a set of P-bars, even more challenging to do this on the floor. So I'm going to show you some variations. The full variation, hands flat on the floor, legs squeezed tight. You're going to push down, push up, and then think about bringing your butt in line with your arms. Okay? If you are not able to push your butt forward, you can still do this, lifting your butt off the floor. Okay? And make sure you're pushing away from the floor and getting that space between your shoulders and your ears. That's the key thing, even if you're not able to push your butt forward yet. Again, that's still a fairly advanced variation. So you can try bending your knees. Now on the floor, this is still fairly challenging. So to start with, keep your heels on the floor, push down, and just lift your butt off the floor. Once that starts to feel easier, you can always lift one leg up and switch and lift the other. Okay, so feel free to start with your feet down or start in the full L-sit. We're going to try and accumulate a total of 60 seconds. So if I go up and I hold it for 10 seconds, okay, I have to do 6 sets of that. So let's go. So Chester's kind of keeping time for you all. Rest as much as you need between sets. So typically, if I'm doing this, I'll keep track of how many sets I'm doing. Keep going, okay? So maybe the first time I do this, I'll just manage 10 seconds, and then I'll rest for about 30 seconds, and so this will take me a total of 6 rounds. When I'm using parallel bars in the gym, I'm able to do 60 seconds in 2 sets of 30 seconds, but it's a lot easier on those parallel bars. So take as many sets as you need, have a nice timer, and start and stop that so you know when you've done 60 seconds. The key is that push down and that creating space between your shoulders and your ears. So I'm going to let you finish that on your own. Once you're done, you're going to stretch out your wrists a little bit because there's a lot of work on the wrists. So one hand on the floor, take your other hand, pin it down, and you're just going to pull away, move side to side. This also feels very nice on your shoulders. The other hand, pin your hand down, pull away. Chester, you're going to come say goodbye? She's not. She's going to go and lick her butt. So this was a really simple, no equipment needed, straight arm strength workout. Now, if you had a pull-up bar or a set of rings, you could get into a little more pulling, but doesn't matter. If you don't have it, work with what you've got. You can get a really good workout without any equipment, and even with the distraction of 2 cats high on catnip, you can get a lot done. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Check back in tomorrow because we're going to be doing some bent arm strength. Thank you very much.